Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Right about now, it's time to kick out the jams, motherfuckers. Welcome to Story Route Zero. That was the MC5 off of the second song of their seminal live album, Kick Out the Jams, called Kick Out the Jams. This is Story Route Zero. My name is Matthew Keel. This is episode 39. Yes, I know, because I was bad at math last week and I just took notes about 20 minutes before I got on this call. We talked about
we stopped numbering episodes, so you already missed that.
Why didn't y'all tell me?
Yeah, we just don't do that anymore.
we don't do that anymore.
Great, just free jazz and everything here. I like it. So that was Jason Marshall. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Cool. Mama's got $700 to burn on a console. Michaela Crescioni, how you doing?
I'm good.
Cool. You look distraught. What's wrong? Are you mad because we always give you shit?
No, I think I would be upset if you didn't, because then I would wonder if something's wrong.
Oh, okay.
See?
Of course.
Okay. See, I avoided saying a thing that came up this week because I felt like that might be.
Oh, I was waiting for it.
I know. It might be beyond the pale, but I'll leave it for the mouth from the south, aka the man who wears the shirt of the band that he's going to see to their concert. Moose Cool. Wait.
I was telling them I just reached into my wardrobe and picked the shirt, and that would be it.
And
I didn't even know you were going to be on.
And the shirt he is wearing for the band he is going to see, representing Phoenix Overdrive, Lee the Maestro, aka Shock Boy. How are you? You look like you are coming from a pirate radio station 20 leagues below the Earth's surface. What's going on?
It was a good episode of C-Lab 2021, Pirate Radio.
Just typical Monday, busy day at work, and then coming home and making sure that everything was kosher here at home because, kids and COVID and virtual school, that's a thing for us here at home. So, yeah, it's a good day. It was a good day.
So before we start talking about video games, we talk about the weekend. First up, Moose, thumbs up, thumbs down. Lee, what'd you do this weekend?
A lot. We had basically my mother-in-law coming over practically the whole weekend. Well, let me put this way. Saturday she came over, brought over her dog with her, who is terrified of me. This poor thing is I literally scared the shit out of this dog just walking into the kitchen. Well, she's like an 8-year-old. She's an 8-year-old, and
every time you walk in the room, he's like, "Fuck, man, look at the size of it."
Yeah, I think she's had bad experiences with males.
Oh, okay.
So she's really sketchy of males to begin with. But so my mother-in-law came over, my wife, and my daughter all painted their nails together while I was plugging away at getting my desk and setup all put together. And then yesterday was just another day of doing that while my wife and kids went out and grabbed pumpkins and painted them and all that stuff. So
cool.
That was my weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Michaela, how about you? How was your weekend?
Good. I honestly don't remember much of Saturday. But yesterday went down to Rhode Island. I crossed the border. Not supposed to do that, but I don't care. My
Wait,
stepmom's
what?
Yeah, Rhode Island doesn't want people from Massachusetts. I mean, they didn't before the pandemic, but now they have a
now there's like a reason.
But yeah, I went to my
Rhode
dad's
Island
house.
was up like pulling people over with New York plates like earlier in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of friends who were like driving to Rhode Island. They got pulled over because they had New York plates, and they were told like you can't be in Rhode Island. Like really?
Yep, they were.
Delaware
doing
was
that at one
doing
point this
Delaware
spring.
was doing that for PA people going to get wine on the cheap.
Yep. New England, it's hard. They can't like screen for Massachusetts because we're all on top of each other. Massachusetts, Connecticut, it's all like Rhode Island's not very big.
Right.
But yeah, I went down to my dad's, my stepmom's birthday's this week, so I did birthday present for her. Watched some football. There was no Clemson game this weekend. They had a bye, so maybe that's why I don't remember Saturday. I just blacked it out from sadness. Yeah, about it.
How'd the football go? I didn't pay attention, so I actually don't know.
The Pats won. Right? I don't know. I can't get into the Patriots this year because all the reasons. It's basically the only thing that's left from the real like Patriots that have been around for the past
The
few years.
real Patriots?
Yes, these are the fake
Really?
Yeah, the people that played for how many years before he showed up?
Yeah.
Nobody.
You got to remember, Brady was around from when I was 6 until I was 26.
Jesus,
And he
that's right.
never
28.
beat
He
the
has been around.
Giants.
Yeah, not the Super Bowl. Or what did they beat the Eagles? I don't remember.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Oh, in
Okay.
2000,
But then
so
we beat him
2000.
the second time.
Yeah, then we ended their dynasty. Yeah.
But yeah, no, all that's
I
really
guess.
left is from the Pats are the secondary and some running backs, and one of those running backs is out for an unfortunate.
And don't
reason.
forget the video cameras. They're still there. The video cameras are still there.
The video cameras are still there.
And the faulty air pumps on the footballs.
Yes, the flat footballs.
Damn, you guys are rough on her.
Oh, this is just the beginning. Wait till they start with Kingdom Hearts and crap.
Every time like I've watched,
You
like,
said
the
it
videos,
first.
They're like,
Well,
Open
she's
season.
opened the doors,
Open
ladies and
season.
gentlemen.
The door's open. We don't need to kick it in anymore. We just,
Yeah.
it's already, it's like.
I need to get like I can cover this hat and either write Kingdom Hearts or Remnant or something on it for the rest of these episodes.
I'm okay with that.
Melody of memory. perhaps.
Just gonna say mom. Nobody's gonna.
Yeah. Be like mom, M-O-M. That works.
Yeah. Jason, how you doing?
Good. Relaxing weekend. Didn't really
Cool.
do anything. Watched baseball. Yankees are in the playoffs.
Shocker.
Yankee won the home run title in the shortened season. Yankee won the batting title in a shortened season.
who'd have thought Luke Voigt would have won a home run title though?
And dominated too. He was like
Yeah.
5 ahead.
Like I figured DJ LeMahieu was going to be a batting title winner at some point in his Yankee career, but
Well,
Yeah.
well, the thing is,
He
like
already
so many,
was one.
so many players went down with COVID. It seemed like.
Well, yeah, and Stanton
Yeah.
and Judge had 13 combined. They had more than both of them.
Jeez.
But yeah, relaxing weekend. Didn't do much.
Notre Dame play.
No, they were off
No.
this weekend too.
Okay.
didn't they cancel their season or what's going
Oh,
on?
they canceled the game first.
the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Big Ten is still on, right? Notre
Yeah.
Dame's in the Big Ten, right?
No,
no.
No, are they in
independent.
the?
they're like
Independent?
part-time
They're-
ACC.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, okay. Weren't they?
They're like
They're
not
part-
technically in a
They're
conference.
they're part-time
Were they-
ACC on every third Sunday of the month, and Big East every
Were they-
5th year, and I don't know anymore.
Were they in a conference before? Because for some
They've
reason I
never
remember.
been in a
They
conference.
float.
Oh, maybe I'm.
Basketball.
Football has always
Basketball,
been
they are.
independent. All other sports, they went from like the Big East to the ACC.
Yeah.
They were independent, then joined the Big East, then joined the ACC.
But with LSU losing, Notre Dame moved into the top 5.
For not playing.
They lost
Yep.
to what? Mississippi State or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Mike
He threw-
Leach's debut, I think, or
I
something
think
like that.
the quarterback threw for like 620
650,
yards
yeah.
or something.
Some ridiculous
It was
number.
absurd. Yeah, so that was the
Well,
weekend.
I had hopes on the Nuggets going 7 after that.
Dude.
After- After that, where they almost had the Lakers, but then the Lakers
Yeah.
just sealed it up.
Well, playoff LeBron showed up. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, well, and you and I had been talking, and we had kind of just known that it was probably going to be the Lakers series, but it would have been nice to go 7.
Right.
But yeah, because I still think that if LeBron goes down, AD is not a guarantee for a win. Like I think AD can be dealt with.
Still got like a year to go before.
Yeah, before he's in his prime.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see the Heat back in the finals.
I'm telling you, man, Spoelstra's the difference maker for that.
Considering where they were the last time they were in the finals, like it's and this team's really good. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
As someone who just likes watching sports for the abstract qualities of it, like this Heat squad's entertaining, and I hope they stay together for a while. I kind of think the Lakers are the edge in the finals, but
yeah.
Other than that,
if I had to say it would be Lakers probably in 6. I would love to see Heat, but Lakers maybe in 6.
Yeah. And if you were going to say, Jason?
People were mad because they asked LeBron about making the finals, and he was like, he basically said, I don't care. It doesn't matter unless I win. It's like, yeah, but he's got a point. Every time you say he's the greatest player, people go, but Jordan was undefeated in the finals. You're not. So, of course, he's got something to prove. Of course he's going to be. Yeah, you make the finals. Ask the Buffalo Bills in the 90s how that felt.
Yeah. And they've done it. I don't think anybody's ever done. I don't think has anyone ever made 4 Super Bowls in a row?
Never.
I know teams
not in a row.
Yeah, I know teams have won it, but have won it 4 times, but not in a row.
Not in a row.
Yeah, I mean the Pats have what, like 8 world titles or something like that? 8 or 7?
No, that's 6.
Is it 6 only?
Yeah, they have 6.
For some reason I thought that was more than that.
Only.
Yeah, only 6.
And then what? The Niners had 5 at some.
Niners have 5. Cowboys have 5.
Cowboys have 5. Steelers have
4 or 5.
4 or 5 something.
They might have 5.
Giants have 4.
Cowboys have 5, I think.
So yeah, no team
Nobody's
has ever
made
4
in a row.
Yeah.
The only other sport where I can think of 2 sports: baseball, the Yankees dynasty of the 90s.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, they win.
It was like 4 in 5 years, or like 5 in 6 years, or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 5
and then
and 6.
The Heat from the early 2000s making 4 finals appearances in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pats have 6. Steelers are 6. Cowboys are 5. Denver's 3. San Fran's 5. 4 Green Bay. 4 New York. And then 3 Washington, Oakland, and 2 Miami.
Packers have 4 Super Bowl wins?
Yeah, they won the first 2.
The first 2.
Yeah, they have the advantage of being one of the older teams.
The first 2, Brett Favre won 1, and then Rodgers won 1. That's right.
Yeah.
The Pats have the most games played at 11.
Yeah.
And they won, 6 of them, I guess that was 50%. Well, 60.
I think they have the most losses too, right?
Over.
Well, they've been to the most overall, so
1, 2, 3.
I mean, it's not my fault they can't get it done, Michaela. I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
Better than its most losses.
I mean, 5 losses. No, Denver ties them with 5 losses. Denver won 8 times and only won 3. So remember?
Okay.
Oh no, that was Buffalo. Never mind. I was like, wasn't that the team that went like so many years in a row and lost? Like, but that was Buffalo.
Now, side note, that's a great 30 for 30 episode on that Bills team.
Like, I bet, man.
It's a really cool thing to watch because just like, man, what a fucking machine they had, and then just like Super Bowl circumstances were Super Bowl circumstances. That's why you play the game. Anyway, also for me this weekend, had a bit of a letdown that I'm going to talk about here. I know my main co-hosts know, and I'm pretty sure I've told you about this, Lee, but like my wife and I are trying to adopt a child. And in the past couple of weeks, we've had what we thought were going to be, opportunities for ours. And we were passed over. And that hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. And as I had said I talked about this on Twitter, and I didn't really go into details, but like people were saying, oh, you shouldn't have been passed over. Like that's their regret. I don't think that I'm not mad because at least these kids are getting homes. I can't be mad. I mean, I can feel a certain way that that my wife and I were not picked, but like ultimately, a kid got parents out of this. So
Win-win.
Yeah, I mean, it's
for the
not,
kid. It's a win-win.
Yes, like this child got a win, and I'm happy that he got a win.
You never know, man. Maybe that kid would have fucking hated video games, and then your life would have been shit when they got to be 5, 6 years old. You don't know, man.
Said, like, Dark
Souls when it's right, it's right, my dude.
I know I'm gonna have
like From Software's trash Miyazaki shit, and then she went and played Fortnite. You'd be like,
well, no, but see, like if I were like, I mean, we did have another opportunity recently. We put in for that, so we're hoping, but
always move forward.
It'll be the right time when it happens.
Yeah,
exactly.
You could take Moose out of that picture book. That might help.
Yeah, that's it.
So funny.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you take me out of it. It looks like a more entertaining prospect, but no, we are moving forward, optimistic, and I've had
That's all you got to be optimistic.
Some of the people that I've talked to about it, both my personal life and my wife, have been really like understanding. Like my wife is pretty. Like she's like, honestly, she looks at me like when I get dejected about this, she looks at me like that James Franco meme where he goes first time.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to get into the adoption thing before she met me. Mm-hmm. And then when we got serious, she's like, okay, I have to halt where I'm at to catch you up. So now that like I'm here, she's like, yeah, okay, so this is what it is. And I'm like, all right, fine. But
I mean, obviously, she'll just let you have this, and you'll grow
like I mean
from it, and it'll become a little less of a band-aid tear, as it goes on.
Yeah,
so,
but also, crap. Josh Biddick interviewed me for the Kind of Funny Up and Comer Game podcast. My episode went up this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
And that was actually a lot of fun. And I talk about y'all a little bit. And yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, no, I had good things to say about all of you. So.
Why are you ruining my reputation?
Well, I mean, I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize Moose was the bad boy here. Moose is the bad boy in this boy band. Which one? But other than that, I got some rest, which was needed, and yeah, I'm here now. So let's talk about video games, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm glad one of us is enthusiastic.
I haven't been podcasting in a while, so this is
the new guy on the block. He's like, yes, games, let's do it. Lee, what have you been playing?
Okay.
Actually, we had a game night with our group of friends on Saturday night, and we played Among Us.
That's a good game.
It was a ton of fun. It was. And
bad idea.
That's a good game.
That's like introducing Overcooked to your marriage. No,
we had a good time with it. I mean,
okay, well that's good then.
Everybody was like so into it, and we're talking about playing again this weekend because it was just a ton of fun. I was the imposter 7 times out of like the 15 games that we played.
Oh,
and every single time that I was the imposter, I was literally on top of Becky's character, so I was like, kill right off the bat, and she'd be like, "What the fuck?" She was just so pissed. And
good.
It was just a ton of fun to play, and we had a good time with it. My buddy and I, we upped the number of imposters from 1 to 2. Mm-hmm. And he and I we just wrecked shop the minute that the 2 of us were imposters. Like 2 people were in the same room as us. offed them at the same time. We went our separate ways, found 2 more, offed them both, and by that time it was like 30 seconds in, the game was over. Everyone was like, did we really just lose that quickly? Yes.
Yes.
We did.
Yes, you did.
Funny thing is, my buddy and I that, we're the imposters together, we're both Asian, so we're like, well, sneaky Asians.
Yeah, ninjas.
Ninjas, man. Ninjas. Woo assassins.
He's like, I played Ghost of Tsushima. I know how to do this.
And let's see, what else? My video game time was severely diminished the past few weeks with this home project going on.
Your
but
pirate radio studio you have.
Still not done. I still got to put the lighting strips under the desk.
Cool.
So, let's see. I was still trying to finish up Final Fantasy VII, and after that's done, then, like you said, it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima. So that's going to be leading up to Cyberpunk and World of Warcraft Shadowlands on the 26th, which is going to be like, I'm going to be on that thing nonstop for like 3 months straight.
Cyberpunk on PC?
Yeah.
Nice.
I already pre-ordered and everything, so.
Nice.
7 remake?
Yeah, 7 remake.
What part you at?
Oh, chapter 15.
Okay, so you're getting there.
So I'm on
Michaela of Memory is a Final Fantasy nerd.
Yeah, I was gonna say you touched Michaela with Final Fantasy, you touched Jason with WoW.
Yep. I mean, I still got to play Bloodborne with you two, so that's still got to happen.
Don't fall into that trap.
Hammer Bros are back in business. I'm backpacking my buddy Razzie through it. We're gonna get him the platinum, 100% on the DLC. We're doing it.
God, yeah.
I think we're streaming tomorrow. But anyways,
so that's been pretty much my gaming for the past couple of months actually. So.
Okay. Now, before we go to the rest of the thing, because I forgot to do this while we were talking about weekends and intros, because I'm, a fantastic host at this. So, Lee, you do Extra Life, right?
Sometimes.
I mean, like every year for the past what, 10 years?
Like every year practically since 2013 was the first year that I did it.
Okay.
And I mean, out of everybody that I know, I mean, I'm not even the longest. I mean, Ray Osorio has been there for longer than me. But
10 years,
I think
Ray's 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have a team, so I want you to talk about that before we move on to what else we're playing, because I could have done this before and didn't, because I'm a moron.
Well, as everybody may, as you guys know, and not sure what Michaela's how much she knows about it, but Extra Life is a 24.
She doesn't listen to us because we're too busy making fun of her about Remnant and Kingdom Hearts.
No,
she doesn't listen.
Better than to listen to you.
So Extra Life is it's an annual event, a 24-hour gaming marathon that normally occurs in November. And usually we would send out invitations for everybody to come join us up here in upstate New York to play games for that entire day. Moose and Matt have come up here before. And unfortunately this year, we are unable to have an in-person event because of COVID-19. We have decided for the safety of everybody to just hold off on it, and we postponed all of our in-person events into next year. And basically this year we will hold a virtual convention, if you will, online, and it will be hosted on our website, phoenixoverdrive.com. The gist of it is everybody who signs up for the team will have a little spot on the page, and that will lead to either a Twitch page or your social media, whichever page you want to. And basically all we ask is you guys to fundraise as best as possible under these circumstances. It's not the best year to fundraise. I fully understand that. So whatever our participants is able to fundraise, I applaud them and I thank them for their efforts. So if you want to check it out, you can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive. We also have our Facebook group for where we discuss everything practically. You can just join it. Facebook.com facebook.com/groups/PO Nation. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram with our handle PHX_Overdrive. Now, as for our National Game Day team, you can go to extra-life.org/team/PHXOD20. And you can join the team there and get set up, and we'll get in contact with you and let you know what you need to give us for us to kind of market you on our virtual convention. And also we have merchandise actually that you can check out. It's tinyurl.com/PHXOD merch, MERCH. Got some new shirts on there, got some hats, cups, mugs, travel mugs, cozies, everything. I think there's even like a blanket on there. That's really cool. And there's a tie-dye shirt. Couple
all
of
the hippies in the back.
Yeah, for all the hippies in the back. Got some new vests in there, some hoodies. So check it all out. I'll send you the links to put up with the episode on
I
YouTube.
believe it comes in. I believe it comes out with every episode anyway, but I'll definitely send me the links. I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this year, actually, we just made our big announcement this past weekend. We are raffling off a PlayStation 5 disc version and an Xbox Series X. $25 per ticket. And the details of that and how to get in on it will be out this Saturday. So stay tuned throughout all of our social media for all of that. We also have a little side fundraiser thing we've got going on. We've got raffles going on in it. At the moment, we have an iRobot Roomba, brand new.
Awesome.
We have an AOC 31.5-inch 1440p curved gaming monitor. We have an Elgato Stream Deck, and I think we just got a Cuisinart Griddler Elite on there as well. So, there is.
They have a hyperdrive on that thing, and all you're giving out is a Cuisinart.
I know. I'm sorry. So yeah, just if you just want to check it out, it's fb.com/POEL fundraiser. And just tell us which ones you want to be in on, and just comment on the post, and we'll make sure you get in on it, and we'll let you know how much it is and all that stuff. So, and last but not least, for all of our fundraisers this year, for the participants, I should say, we have a fundraising prize. The top fundraiser will win a brand new Nintendo Switch. So
cool.
We've got a lot going on, trying to make this as best as possible with the circumstances. So there's a lot going on with it. So if anybody has any questions, just hit me up. You know where to find me.
Cool. I'm on the team this year.
You are on the team. Yes, I saw that. So, and every participant, for every $25 you raise, you do get one free ticket to either the PS5 or the Series X fundraiser, whichever one you want, or the raffle, I should say, whichever one you want. So
cool.
The more you raise, the better odds for you. And hell, you might come out with a next gen console for free.
That's awesome. So let's move on with games. Michaela, how's Remnant? Oh, you don't have it. I had to.
She's going to be the shortest. She's going to have the shortest span of episodes.
I thought you were going to call me short for a second. I was like,
no.
Why did I come here for this abuse?
No.
Just because I'm 5'2",
words in my mouth.
man.
Dynamite comes in small packages. We know this.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Here comes the boom.
I just know that if there's ever a point where we're able to actually get together in the same place, Michaela is going to punch me in the face so damn hard.
If I can reach.
It's fine. I will have earned it.
It'll just be inside your reach.
Like I didn't realize how tall he was until I met him. I said, "You're really tall."
Oh yeah. Tall. Yeah, even Ray was like, Jesus. Anyway, that's fine. See, you'll just take out my knees with a step stool and then punch me in the face.
See, crowbar to the knees, hit him as he's going down.
Freaking Tanya Harding that just to get him on your level. Michaela, what you been playing this week?
Game Club game. I touched Wargroove just a little bit again, but my major focus, especially for the second half of the week, was Persona 5 Royal. I finished the 6th palace. I completed the 7th palace.
Nice.
And I took down the Reaper. So I have all of the trophies except for the ones that are tied to the remaining story progression, and I am at the threshold.
Smooth sailing for the platinum. Congratulations.
I literally just have to finish the game.
Nice.
Just tap it in. Just tap
it
in.
Tap it. Just tap. Why would you go in your home?
Oh boy. But yeah, so I'm about to start the part of the game that was originally the end game for base Persona. But now with Persona 5 Royal, there's like a 3rd semester extra content that comes after that, and I'm assuming an 8th palace. But I just took down the 7th palace today, actually, and the Reaper last night with a level 71 party. And the trick for that was I let him ambush me, which sounds counterintuitive, but if you let him ambush you, he only does 1 move per turn instead of 2 moves per turn, which is where you get really fucked.
Smart. She's using that noodle, guys. Yep. See? That's smart.
Wish Darkest Dungeon enemies worked that way, because they just go whenever the fuck they want.
I know, right?
They're like,
but no,
hey.
This one, you can... And
it's like, hey, we're going to show up when you don't want us to and make your day bad. Continue.
Yeah. What's that enemy in Darkest Dungeon, like the really, really bad one? What's it called? The one that will show up completely at random and fuck your day up?
There's a few of them. There's the fanatic.
Yeah.
Who basically, like, when I first, still one of the most horrifying things I've seen this year, just because like I didn't engage with that before this year, and he made me very sad. Yes. Several times. But then there's the thing from Beyond the Stars that shows up too, and if you're not ready for it, he can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the Fanatic. I haven't played that game in probably at least a year, if not 2. But yeah, I remember I have it on the Switch, and when the Fanatic would show up twice, it crashed the game. And then I stopped playing for a little while.
It does not run well on portable consoles. Like, it doesn't run well on the Vita. And
I mean, I don't have a problem with tech specs, but like for some reason I had a couple crashes on the Switch with Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, I on every system I've played it on, I've had a crash, at least one. So, but yeah, so back to Persona. You took down the one that shows up to make your day bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty easy to avoid because I mean he'll show up at randomly. He'll enter a floor and you might hear the chains rattling. But in this case, since I was trying to get him to spawn, I literally just had to drive in and sit still for 2 minutes and wait for him to spawn into the environment. And since I wanted him to ambush me, I let him come to me, but he wasn't ambushing me. So for a second, he was just like rubbing up against me, not doing anything for a solid 10 seconds. And I'm like, this is really awkward.
Were you at the club?
I was going to say, like,
pretty much.
Did he have dance music going in the background?
It's like the guy who doesn't know how to talk and rolls in the club, just rubbing up against people. Like, hey, one dance, huh? He's doing the Night at the Roxbury thing where he's just.
He didn't want to do that for a minute, so I had to convince him to ambush me. And then he did, and so I had a level 71 party. And I really wouldn't go too much lower than that. Like, some people are like, you can do it when you're level 60. I really would recommend being upper 60s, lower 70s mid. And my party was Makoto, Haru, and Ryuji, and you can loop him. So they took out the cheese that's in base Persona 5, where if you fight him during flu season, he can get despair and will die on his own in 3 turns. They took that out for Royal, but you can loop him. So I let him ambush me, so he only has 1 turn instead of 2. And then if you cast like a reflect spell at any point, it will loop him. So he does a charge up and then a huge mega attack. And so long as you're high enough level and you have enough buffs and whatnot, buffs and nerfs, to survive that mega attack. You just heal every other turn and attack every other turn, and you loop him, and you don't have to worry about his other stuff where he has a lot of like insta-kill moves that get really annoying.
Okay.
And then my party leveled up, I want to say 5 times after beating him. Like, it's ridiculous. He's a level 80 enemy, I think. But yeah, took the Reaper down. No more barriers to the platinum. Just got to finish the game. So I'm going to do the end game and then the 3rd semester. And that will be a wrap. I'm probably around 97 to 98 hours at this point. So I'm still under 100 hours. But seeing as how it took me 135 hours to beat the whole thing, the first time I'll come in probably 20 hours under that for getting through at least where the original game ended.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I look forward to hearing about your platinum.
Thank you.
Anything else you playing this week?
Yeah, it was just those 3, and we can't talk about one of them, that even though we all do.
God, I want to talk about our Game Club game so freaking badly. Oh my God.
One more week.
I know. Moose, we skip you for weekend all the time. What have you been playing?
Can't talk. This is gonna be like 5 minutes. Can't talk about one game because I can't
It's
talk
gonna be like
about
5 minutes or 5 seconds.
Like a minute or
Okay.
2. Anyways, so season 3 of Division 2 dropped. So been playing that.
Oh, hold on. Time out. I got to say something about Division 2. Moose, I think it was like a week ago, he invited me to a party, and I missed the invite. So I was like, well, you're not online. Why are you hiding from your girlfriend? He goes, no, I'm hiding because I'm playing the Division.
I was just like, I don't want to get shit from y'all. I'm out here playing what I want to play, having a good time. Anyway, so season 3 dropped. They've got
now, for any new listeners, a couple of shows ago, actually 3 shows ago, Moose said he was probably going to delete the Division. Or no, he didn't say that. He said he was going to have a breakup with the Division.
No, I was going to have a break, which I did. I took a week off. Took the week off in between season 2 and season 3. The thing is,
he took a week off online. He spent the week offline.
So
took a week off. Love you, Moose.
Done.
Maybe.
Done? Can I actually talk? I'll be done faster if you let me talk.
Nah.
Anyways, so this season's different in that they let you go for the manhunt right away the first week, and then the league challenge is over the course of both weeks, and so instead of just starting in the second week. And so did the manhunt, did some of the league stuff, and then tried the summit. And the summit is a goddamn good time. Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, Muffins, Matt, Jason, you know Muffins.
Dr. Man Muffins.
Dr. Man Muffins. He started and did all of the control points and waited for me to do the missions and the bounties for the manhunt. So then while he was waiting for me, because I was playing another game, which I'll get to in a second, he went into the summit and started on floor 1 and got to level 70. And then we kicked it up to heroic, and it was like, let's just say Moose had too many beers at that time and was like, we done. I'm not getting my teeth kicked in anymore. I think I'm done. And then you were like, you want to play some Risk of Rain too? And I was like, yes. And even Muffins was like, holy shit, we've been playing this for like 5 hours solid. And I'm like, yeah, we should both probably take a break. He was like, yeah, let's do that. So, but then
I think Muffins was like, I want to play Risk of Rain too. I'm like, you should. He's like, I don't have it.
Pick it up, buddy. It'll be on sale this holiday season. Yeah. But great game. So, I have been playing that. We played that a little bit. That's a lot of fun. I don't know if I talked about it last podcast, but getting a lot of cool new people you can use to play with. I guess my favorite is still the Commando, but the Engineer is...
That Engineer looks like a good fucking time.
I got like 6 trophies playing my first run with him. I'm like, this is insane. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend Risk of Rain 2. And then I played Bloodborne 2. Not because I was going back to it out of my own free will, but Hammer Bros got a call. It came in to 1-800, help me plat. And I said, let's go. I mean, he could do it on his own. Razzie is very capable. He did the Sekiro.
I've seen Razzie play games. He's not.
Dude, he's really good. He's really good. So
sometimes I think I'm good at games, but I don't think I'm near as good as Razzie is at anything.
I mean, like, he'll tell us, like, oh yeah, I just no-hit it like a boss in Sekiro, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever no-hit a boss in Sekiro. But so he was like, we were talking about, he was polishing up Spider-Man, and he's like, man, we should do the Bloodborne DLC, and I was like, I'll co-op it with you, and he's like, hell yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna start a new playthrough. I was like, I have a character with everything unlocked. Except the dungeons, because it's the character I was using in the previous podcast we were on that shall not be named when I was doing the Misadventures of Moose. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Platinum. So I was doing Misadventures of Moose, and so I was doing the Misadventures of Moose in Bloodborne, doing my Bloodborne Platinum guide, and just stopped in like the 3rd or 4th Chalice dungeon, and then it just like everything went to shit before I could go back to it. But anyways, so that character has all the content and the DLC stuff unlocked. So I'm like, we'll just go where you need to go, and I'll show up, we'll summon, and we'll have a good time. And so we've been doing that, and that's been a blast. So that's pretty much it. I downloaded Among Us on my phone. I don't know.
I've played Among Us with a couple of streamers I watch, and I play it on my phone. It's really fun. It's really fun. Cool. Jason.
I played quite a bit of games.
Cool.
This past week. I chipped away at Kingdoms Amalur. I'm about 21 hours in. I couldn't tell you what the story's about because I still haven't done any story quests.
Yeah,
this guy, what level are you?
16. Like Jeff.
16.
Or are you just gonna like roll like a truck over everything when you do get to it?
Well, Jeff just finished it at level 23. I didn't even start the story, so I'm going to be. I'm playing on hard because I want to do one playthrough. There's a lot. I wouldn't do two play. There's way too much content to do 2 playthroughs. Like, it's just insane. So
I feel like I did 2 playthroughs originally, but I just don't want to do 2 playthroughs.
Yeah, and hard's really not that bad. At first it was, but then once you start leveling up and know how to use your class, like, it's not difficult. They did add a difficulty in the PS4. There's like I forgot. It's very hard essentially. I forgot what they called it, but they added this that wasn't in the original.
Easy, hard, and fuck you.
More Warcraft cleaning up before the expansion drops. We're still not at pre-patch.
Look at Lee.
Yes.
Look at Lee. Look at that smile on his face. It's like,
Lee, isn't that so weird? We're not at pre-patch yet. It's a month out.
There was an expansion where it was only like 2 weeks before release, and that's when they finally like dropped everything for pre-patch. So,
but this one's weird because there's the level squish.
Yeah, I know.
So Moose, they're going back to level 60 cap.
60 cap, and then you start at like 50 in like the Shadowlands.
If you have a max character, you start at 50. But what's cool is if you have a new character, 1 through 10's in a new zone, you pick an expansion then to level in.
Yep.
Ooh.
So at level 10, you could pick Burning Crusade, Wrath, Mists of Pandaria, any of the expansions. And you level 10 to 50 in. Like
I'd love to do Burning Crusade.
You could do all of Burning Crusade as 10 to 50 now.
That was such a good expansion.
That was the expansion that really drew me in. Like,
I laughed at my friend.
Vanilla was okay for me, but then I quit Vanilla, and then like when Burning Crusade dropped, my friend was like, "Hey, we should try it again." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So this time I picked that time I picked my Tauren Hunter, and that's when that's where I stuck with it. And
did you do any raiding in Vanilla? Or was it like you leveled and you were kind of like,
I leveled and then like I did like Molten Core once or twice or something like that. But after that, I was like, and I think the part of it too was I didn't have any, like none of my friends played with me at that time. But with Burning Crusade, that's when like a whole bunch of us like really got into it and we're just let's do this.
Yeah, see, so, I joined the WoW. I got on the WoW train like 2005.
Yeah.
So it was like a year after. Like my character just got to level 60, and they were like, Burning Crusade's coming out in the fall, which is not a problem. You know, my buddy was like raiding, doing all this stuff. He's like, let's play together. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to create another character, or you're gonna have to come and power level me because, you know, like there's no way we're gonna play together because you're just raiding all damn day. Yeah. And that was back in the day when like WoW was like a fucking second. It was 8 hours. It was another 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like you were on a raid schedule, and if you didn't make it, you were kicked out of the guild.
My schedule for my life was I'd get up at like 6:30 to get ready for class. So I'd have my first class at like 8:15. Then I'd come home for lunch and then have my afternoons. Then I'd go to work from like 3 to 8 because I was only a part-timer. And then from the time I got home, which is because I only lived like 15 minutes away from work. So from 8:15 until maybe 1 or 2 was all WoW all the time. And especially when it got to the rating. I mean, I remember like the 10 of us on Karzan would just go nonstop with Kara like every single night until we got it down to where we would rec shop in it for like maybe one night. And then that's when my buddy was like, we should start a full raiding guild. And I'm like, all right. So we got a second Kara team going, and then we'd like put the teams together and we're like, all right, let's go do SSC. Let's go do Hyjal. Let's do Black Temple. Let's do all of this shit. And it was, those were the fun days. Those were absolutely a ton of fun.
Like when they were talking about bringing WoW Classic back, I'm like, I don't know. So my favorite, I had a night elf hunter.
Yeah.
And that was the original Sven character. So that's where the name, my username comes from.
Yo.
So that was the first character I ever, video game character that had the name. My pencil and paper character had the name first. But anyways, and played the heck out of him. I had 2 paladins because it was before they decided to allow us to respec, you know, and so I was going to make 3 paladins because, you know, they're hybrids and they could do healing, tanking, and DPS. But the DPS in vanilla is trash.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to Classic unless they were like, listen, we understand, like, we can't give you a DPS tree and it's trash. You know what I mean? Like, they would have to be able to go back to Classic, but be like, we're still going to fix some things. You know what I mean?
Becky and I played Classic, and it's Classic. It is top to bottom, just regular Classic. So I had my hunter in there, and I'm going, man, there's the quality of life improvements that you experience as you went through all of the expansions later on, like how I had to buy ammo again. I'm going, no, I just I can't do
I could imagine. I
couldn't.
That was the first game where like the dude I knew just like gave me 40 gold to get my first mount.
Yep.
Because I was using a night elf, and then I did a paladin, and I didn't know it because paladins have a free mount. I mean, you have to do the quest, but there's a quest for a free mount, and I'm like, well, I didn't know this, and so.
Yep.
But
Pallies and locks, man, you guys got lucky with the free mounts.
Yeah, but
because
I mean, I'd love to go back to it, but I don't have anything that would run it. I thought the Mac I'm on right now would run it, but they're requiring higher.
You know what you got to do, Moose.
I know. I got to build a PC, Lee. I know. There's a lot of things I need to do first if I'm going to build a PC. I should probably play like the 400 to 500 games I have on my PS4 before I build a PC. No. But anyways, WoW is a lot of fun. I'm excited for y'all for the expansion. I mean, I'd be excited for it if I was still in it. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, it'd be like going back to the game and be like, what do I even do?
Yeah.
All right, log out. close. You know what I mean? Like that's probably what I would do, unless I would just start from scratch again.
Like I see my hunter right now. I'm going, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you when your like level cap goes from 120 to 60.
Oh, that's brutal. Brutal.
Between him and my paladin, I'm going, I don't know which one of you I want to play on for expansion, because I could easily roll as my paladin and be in every single group that I could find as a tank and be happy with it.
Right, because a lot of people need tanks and a lot of people need
like Becky and
healers.
I can easily like come together as a package and be like, hey, we're tank and heals right here. So all we need is DPS.
I mean, from my understanding and what I remember, the only disadvantage of the paladin healing is they're more of a one target healer than a group healer.
Yeah, it's a single target healing. There's no group healing per se, like say a holy disc priest did, or say a shaman, a resto shaman. But I mean, as a single target healing, like the pally healers were always the best as a main tank healer. But Becky would roll her holy disc priest. So
very nice.
She would be.
You're a bunch of dirty horde.
Get him.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it is what it is.
So anyway, back to Jason.
Anyways,
so I'm doing cleanup in that. Getting ready. Played Bite the Bullet on Switch. This is a run and gun and eat shooter. Eat. Yes. So, typical run and gun, Contra, Metal Slug. As the enemies get low in health, they get stunned, and if you eat them, you gain powers. Like extra bullets, a shield, and there's a whole upgrade tree as you go. It gets weird. The controls are.
It gets weird, or is it already weird?
It's weird.
It gets already weird. What's this game called? What was it?
Bite the Bullet.
Bite the Bullet.
The controls though they're super flighty. They're not for like a Contra Metal Slug. They're not. They don't feel good. So I don't know how long I'll last with it.
Is this a roguelike or roguelite?
No, not really. I mean, no, you just you upgrade. Just it's not the start back from scratch necessarily. It doesn't have that feeling. But I did play a roguelite, of course, because that's just my thing in 2020.
Yeah,
I gotta find new roguelites. I found it's called UnderMine. It's PC and Xbox Game Pass right now. Supposed to come out on Switch and PS4, I think. Think Moonlighter.
This game looks dope. This game looks really dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So think Moonlighter without the shop portion. You basically
have a Google alert on everywhere for roguelite, so I see a lot of these.
So you have to you delve into these caves, and you find vendors then that you'll send back to the surface basically, and after your run, when you die, they'll be positioned, they'll station there, and you can buy from them. Kind of like Rogue Legacy, when you go back, you're a different person. It has no like effect on, because you can actually go to this wizard's mirror and change your appearance. But what's cool is when you get back, the wizard's like, "Did you find? Oh, you're a new one. Oh, we lost another one." There is a dog you can rescue in the second level, and you can pet him every time you get to the surface.
Awesome.
It says pet the dog. It just says so. No, this is
automatic 8 out of 10 every time.
Definitely like Moonlighter, but better in a lot of ways. Like there's none of that micromanagement, which I thought was.
Is it Moonlighter but a roguelite essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
Because as you go, it's kind of like in Dead Cells, you pick up blueprints as you. Mm-hmm. So the blueprints will stay with you when you die, and the blacksmith gets them. And then if you have the currency, he can build it. A cool thing is as you're mining, these creatures appear that try to steal the loot. from you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just like mine and leave it. Like they'll run away with it and it's gone. And
it's like the
so
rats in Gungeon. They steal your shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the 3rd boss, and it's kind of like Moonlighter with there's this mysterious room with a portal, and every time I beat a boss, it lit up something. So I have a feeling when I reach the 9th boss, the door will open. It's a lot of fun. It feels like a Link to the Past. You have a pickaxe, you could throw it, and you also get bombs, and you have to find keys. Each level's randomized, so as you go through, there's secrets.
Now, is this like a top-down perspective, like Moonlighter as well? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But more like a Link to the Past. I feel it's close up like that.
Okay.
Like there's a bit more zoomed in.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a blast though.
All right.
I think I'm only allowed to play roguelike.
I mean,
I think next year just none. Next year will just
No
be
roguelikes.
Next year will just be visual novel.
No, it
I
won't.
can't even say it.
Can't even say it without laughing.
Can't even say it.
Next year, Jason's going to go through all 26 episodes of Umineko Book Club, and it'll take him all year to do it.
No, it's supposed to come out on Switch and PS4, and I really hope it does, because Matt, I think you'll love it. I mean, as much as you love Moonlighter, this is like a step above. Yeah,
like Moonlighter is one of the best games I played this year, and it didn't even come out this year.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that was. I will be playing. I won a bet with my neighbor, so it is currently downloading. I will be playing Avengers next week.
Cool.
Oh. What? Uh-oh.
So the bet was who guessed the PlayStation 5 price, who got closer. I'm glad I won, not just because I won the game, because his guess was, I don't even know where he got this, $800.
Who was this?
My neighbor.
Your neighbor. Oh, okay.
So the bet was whoever won, the other had to buy a game. So I was like, you know what? I want to play it, but I don't want to spend the money on it. So, and if I like it, I get the free upgrade to PS5. So, why not?
Cool. Free games are good.
Free games are always good. Maybe someone do a free game of Remnant.
The offer has been on the table multiple times. It's still on the table, but someone keeps refusing. I don't know.
Someone won't give us their Venmo. Gentlemen.
How do you know I even have a Venmo?
I don't. Honestly, I was just guessing.
You're spitballing. We're just spitballing here.
I mean, I have a Venmo, and I'm 15 years older than you. So
I was shocked when my mom got a Venmo because she was a banker and doesn't trust anything.
I mean, fair.
Now, Melody of Memory, you're on your own there.
Boy.
You see, when you open the door, don't be surprised if people just walk on through.
I have a Christmas list right here because my stepmom demands a Christmas list.
Melody of Memory's at the top, we know.
Melody of Memory is not on it, but Remnant is,
Lies.
but with a question mark that gets bigger every week. I don't know if you can see this.
Question mark. I like it.
Remnant.
I like how it's on graph paper. That's amazing.
Gunfire Games released a physical edition of Remnant, and it would look very nice on your shelf.
It would. It would.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're just thinking about you, Michaela. That's all.
Oh, I know.
So I played some games this week, and the one I want to talk about, I can't because it's a game club game.
Why can't you talk about Honk?
Don't worry. No, don't worry. That's coming. So I played.
Before I leave.
I played more Spelunky 2, and I'm still just as enraptured by it as I was last week, and I'm starting to realize what this iteration feels like And a lot of people smarter than me have sort of looked at Spelunky HD and say, if you play Spelunky HD and sort of analyze it a lot, you can kind of get game design principles out of that game. Like it's kind of like that. It's a designer's game, and I'm thinking about it in terms of like my career. I'll get there. Just bear with me. But Spelunky, like if Spelunky HD is like the technical text that sort of goes with my career, it's either Merrill's Atlas or Bontrager. I forget what the full name of that book is, but these are like sort of the books of positioning and X-ray technique. They don't really get into the hard numbers because the mediums changed, but they're kind of like the Bibles for X-ray text. So I feel like Spelunky 2 is a new edition of that, where it's updated, things that are obsolete are taken out, new things are added. So it is, and the more I play it, the more I realize Spelunky 2 is just that, and that sort of makes me admire it even more. Found some weird things this week. So apparently there can just be secret rooms everywhere, and I was trying to get the key that'll get you the Ujit Eye or Wajit Eye or however you say it, and I bombed my way to it, and in the midst I heard that Legend of Zelda like secret sound that you would hear if you opened up the black market, and I'm like, wait, is that a doorway? And I go through this door, and behind it is a dead caveman.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm thinking
Why'd you have to kill the caveman?
But see, I didn't mean to. Because I didn't know it was there. There was no hint. So I'm like,
who stands behind the secret door? Seriously.
Exactly. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, is this a grave or is this just a room? Because I found two of them, and behind both doors were just dead cavemen. So, and I found it by accident. I didn't matic my way. If I pickaxe my way to them, that's probably a different thing. But so that's interesting. I've almost gotten to the end of the jungle and Volcana multiple times and found the most fun ways to die in both scenarios. One involves a lot of bees and thorns. The other involves interesting experiments with lava. And death is still fun in Spelunky 2. And the highlight of my week that I'm going to spend the most time talking about is, as Jason said, honk honk. My wife and I co-opted the entire Untitled Goose Game. It took us 3 hours, and I am happy to report that this is not just Untitled Goose Game with 2 players. I don't remember all of the checklists for everything, but it seemed like adding a second player makes, I feel like there's the objectives have changed just a little bit, and I could be wrong. It's just because I haven't played it in a year. But holy shit, Reba and I had some fun playing Untitled Goose Game, and the an interesting thing from earlier this year when I think GDC happened, they gave Untitled Goose Game their Game of the Year award. I think it was GDC that did this, or it might have been DICE. It was either DICE or GDC, because I think GDC was postponed because of COVID, but DICE actually happened because it was pre-COVID. One of those gave Untitled Goose Game as its Game of the Year, and watching my wife play it, I started to understand why. All of us here play games a lot, and we can sort of look at a game and sort of glean things to do just from where we're at. And immediately when when you start the 2-player campaign, it does the press square to honk, and Reba hits square, and she honks, but both heads pop out of the bush at the same time. And automatically she's like, oh, that's cool. So we walk around that little starting area, and then just immediately just start honking at each other. And then she looks at me and goes, #marriage. And so I'm like, I'm saving that clip. Then you get through the little area, and then the title card comes up and it says Untitled Geese Game, and I'm like, oh, they're leaning fully into this, and it's so beautiful. We terrorized that rural town so hard, and it was so much fun. That poor little boy who just wants to play with his plane, we scared him. Like, Reba found him and just started honking at him and scared him into the phone booth without even looking at the list of tasks. And she just sees a pop-up. She's like, I didn't know we had to do that. I'm like, it's because you're a natural. And we got through it. The one gripe I have with this game is, and it's just one thing that's so stupid, but there's a task in the pub area that, of all the things in that game that are sort of loose, and this is the one that is like super, super tight, and it's so disorienting. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's there and it's in the game. But there's one of those tasks in the pub that is really annoying. But by the time we got to the pub region, which is like, I think that's the third actual place. It's either third or fourth. By the time we get there, Reba has developed this entire way of thinking around this game, where she's like, okay, we got ourselves, if we get ourselves backed into a corner, she already has like 2 or 3 solutions as to like things we can try. And it was a marvel to see. And I know that as someone who plays games a lot, I miss a lot of that. Like, I don't see that happening in myself, but it was wonderful to see that happen in another person. And the fact that both of us spent 4 hours playing Untitled Goose Game, laughing the entire fucking time. It didn't matter what we were doing. We found a way through it. It was one of those things that it was just I could have had the worst week leading up to that day, and doing that by itself would have made everything better. It was so much fun to annoy villagers with my wife. And I don't care what kind of shade Michaela wants to throw at Goose Game. It's fun. You should play it.
Salt. Resentment.
Who's throwing shade?
I think Michaela was. Right?
Not at the game per se, but at the animal.
Well, I mean, that's the point. Yeah, no, I hate geese too. I know you and I have history with geese, but like,
what other animal would fit in? Like, you need an annoying, hated animal in this role.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't make sense. Geese. Like a
the
dog.
only
a dog ain't gonna do it.
Like
a cat. Now a cat. The Untitled Cat Game would work.
Yeah, but that would be like diabolical. That'd be like a first-person shooter. Like, people would die.
A first-person shooter.
Nope, we're done. Nope.
Out now.
No, I think the only other animal I can think of that it could work, but ultimately, like, it's not as they're not as in contact with humans as geese, but like the raccoon. But that's just sort of like trash rats.
But you have honk.
Pandas, that's the meat.
Other animals don't have the
honk.
There's no. You need that.
Yeah.
It makes it.
Yeah, and this is like I actually said to Reba, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is going to end up on my top 10 list twice in a row, because the second player makes the game actually way different. in a way that I can't really articulate, but it's definitely like what was the Witcher expansion that won RPG of the year? What?
Blood and Wine or
Blood and Wine.
It was either Blood. It was. I mean, it's definitely like
Hearts
a Blood
and
and Wine. Blood and
Wine and Blood.
Blood and Wine and Snow.
Blood and Wine.
Whatever.
Blood and Wine.
Okay. But yeah, it is definitely
we know
that.
The Witcher so well on this podcast.
Yes. I mean, only one of us has beat it, as far as I know. I don't know your situation with The Witcher.
Oh, I didn't beat it. I stopped after like 6 to 8 hours because I was just not having fun. Don't tell my boss.
No.
I have less than 50 hours combined on the show.
Yeah, that's true. Because Jason beat it in 28. But that's
together.
But that's it for games for me. Play the 2-player mod or the 2-player patch of Untitled Geese Game if you have someone to play with. I think it's local co-op only, and it's so fucking worth it. Honestly, Moose, next time you are with a niece or nephew, like play it on Switch.
I wonder if you could do share play.
Possibly.
Co-op.
Possibly. If you can get it to last long enough, yeah.
Because I think that's how me and Moose originally did the first Overcooked. Because that didn't have multiplayer originally.
Oh, yeah.
We did a share play.
I mean, definitely a way to try it.
Yeah, he share played it. Yeah.
Wonder if we could share play.
We didn't last.
That's how we played a little bit of Salt and Sanctuary.
I was gonna say Salt and Sanctuary. You might be able to.
Oh yeah.
Me and Moose only recorded like 15 episodes of the podcast at that point, and Overcooked lasted about 40 minutes, and they're like, "Nope, we're done," screaming at each other. No,
it's
I need
over.
More lettuce, damn it! Cut the
tomatoes. We were like, I don't want to hate you.
I see where this is leading.
I'm like, done. This is going down a dark path, but you might want to play with your wife.
Played with our kids. I cussed both kids out.
There you go.
Goddamn
tomatoes! Where are they?
Seriously, I said to my son, "It's 3 fucking tomatoes. Why are you only grabbing 2 at a time?"
Speaking of your kids, Lee, how's Cole doing at StarCraft?
He got pro yet?
So he decided he wanted to try like a 1v1 with me.
Didn't go well.
Well,
did you Zerg attack?
Oh, I went full Zerg on him.
Yeah, you can't stop the Zerg rush. You can't stop the Zerg rush.
Well, not only that, but I was able to, because we played a big game hunters map.
You have to.
So that was like had a ton of like diamonds and Vespine gas and everything. So he ended up he was still trying to figure out like what his best path was for his Terrans and how to build units and everything. And so I said, well, build up your SCV count to like 10, build your Vespine gas extractors, and then start pumping out Marines. Start pumping out your siege tanks, because you're going to need those, and start building up your supply depots to put it in front of your base. That way I can't get through. He's like, all right. So he tries it. He kind of got confused. And by that point, I had like 400 Zerglings in his base and 250 Hydralisk. And I kind of had them just kind of stop there and wait. I'm going, all right, I could, but I'm
like
not
waving.
Your Zergs come in and see, like, here's what you should do to optimize this whole process, and then we're gonna kill you.
Well, I said they kind of stood there and they're pointing at, like, it was like they're looking at him, just wondering what the hell he was doing. And I said, no, put your supply depot right there, so it'll stop me. So by that point, I said, well, I'll just have them kind of hang out. And then I built a Nidus worm canal just to go into his base, and I sent like 20 Ultralisks into it. And he was like, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, with
I've been playing for 20 years.
I've been playing for as old as you are, like twice your age. So,
but I want to feel old 3 times your age, little boy.
Next time,
come at me.
Next time, don't play Zerg. Play Protoss, and like, oh, I won't do that again, and then do that the Reaver airdrop when he's not looking, and just
just start like dropping all of those. I can't remember their names. The 4-legged things. Just
there's gonna be a day. There's gonna be a day where we're gonna hear this. We're gonna hear this yell, like, and we're just gonna be doing whatever we're doing, and we're gonna hear this yell, and it's gonna be from Lee. Because the kid's gonna like come like this close to beating him, and he's gonna be like, "It's coming, Becky. I can't play him anymore. I don't want to lose."
Well, the need to remain undefeated.
He's making headway with hockey.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was gonna ask.
He's making headway with hockey because we were playing it over the summer, and he actually like scored 5 goals on me.
Oh wow.
So I said, "Good job." I mean, I beat him like 30-5, but
sure, but still,
it's not 30-0 like it used to be.
Yeah, he's scoring. That's good.
He actually beat Becky. He beat Becky.
Yeah,
in hockey.
He beat Becky before he started coming after you.
Yeah, and then he started like trying to come at me, and I'm going, all right. So at first I took it easy on him, and then when he scored like 2 goals, he scored 2 goals in a row, I'm like, oh, okay. We're there. Got it. Hold on.
You got
Here, I'll just be the Atlanta Thrashers, and we'll see what happens. You're gonna be the best team in the league. All right, got it.
The funniest part is how I said, I remember when we were kids. You know how we would come up with like bullshit excuses as to like why we lost, or why we did bad in the game. It's the same exact
Lately,
thing.
it's controller issues.
It was. He goes, "It's my controller. If something's wrong with his controller," I'm going, "Switch with me." So he got my controller. I'm like, fine, I'll play with a other controller, and I'm still winning. And he goes, "There's something wrong with the connection from sitting."
What did you do to your controller, Dad?
I'm like, what are you talking about? There's something wrong with the connection. You're sitting close to the console. You're literally in front of it.
You're hardwired in. I don't know.
There's no more lag. You have no excuses.
I'm waiting for the day. Although lately, like the past couple of weeks for him and his buddies, it's been Minecraft and Roblox.
Like, yeah, so dull those senses.
Like, go ahead, go get in those games.
I'm waiting. I will be here when you return.
I'm waiting for my daughter to be the next one to like try and do something, because she's even more competitive than he is, like even worse.
Jules is the kind that's sitting back taking notes, watching things.
Oh, she is.
Like
she is.
She's like, okay, I see what he's doing. I just need to figure out how to.
When I remember she and I just kind of sat there and we were doing like practice mode for hockey, and already she started picking up on how to do one-timers already, and she's like pulling off one-timers out of nowhere. I'm going, whoa, what just happened?
Wait, what?
What are you doing?
Who are you? Have we met?
All right, I gotta sit forward now.
It's one of those things. You're like, okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's. But you know, I'm glad that they're kind of like learning games like the way they are now. Like for us back when we were that age, it was like 2D side-scrolling stuff, and there was just that was it. But now it's like so much more complicated. Like
I remember when Quake introduced the Y-axis, I was like, "What?" I gotta look up.
Cole asked me a couple months ago. He goes, "Can you guys play Fortnite with me?" I'm like, "For God's sake, all right, fine." So we played this like one level type thing where you have to kill zombies or whatever, and he didn't really explain it. Yeah, he didn't really explain it to us very well, so I was like trying to figure out what it was. finally figured it out by the end, but he already built up like such a lead that it was like pretty much insurmountable. So he was like, I won in Fortnite with you. I'm like,
I retire as the champion of the world.
I said, okay, let's go into division then.
Yeah. I mean, I've got this hockey game right here. I mean, you can feel confident.
I said
step right up.
For his birthday last year, we held it at it's a video game cafe thing, and so him and his friends were there, and I said to Becky, I wonder if they have the division in their games list, and if we can like use our characters and do like Dark Zone stuff with them. And she goes, what, with the kids? I'm like, yeah, it would be a lot of fun. Like hunt them down into Dark Zone.
A learning experience.
Becky's like, we need to discuss what fun is and what fun is to you.
But see, having met Becky in person, I can see her like, oh yeah, we are going to kill our kids in the division.
Pretty much.
I could see her doing that.
I love them, but they must die.
Yes.
I mean, it's tough.
A lesson must be taught.
2 words: Mario Kart.
Oh God! Oh, it gets.
Although the Switch version is trash with its algorithm. I mean, it's horrible. But anyways,
it's funny watching my daughter play Mario Kart because she is so into it. But honestly, Overcooked as a family game, I have never cussed my kids out as much. Even when I'm like legit pissed at them, like in real life, I was swearing at them like, you fucking idiot.
Oh
Jesus.
3 tomatoes, not 2. That's 3. 1,
Like,
2, 3.
you're supposed to bring it over to that one, not that one. Why are you going over there? Why are you going around the counter? Go the straight way.
Throw it! Throw it!
Oh, the burger, damn it.
I'm pretty sure Reba would not let me touch Overcooked with our kids. Ever.
Yeah.
And she's probably smart for it. So we've talked about games. We've talked about Lee's kids. Anything else happen recently post Microsoft's Ultiflex on the industry?
So, TGS happened, but I don't really know.
I don't think anything really came out of TGS, did it?
I mean, Nier.
Whoa.
Nier.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Michaela of memory has the
Moose
floor.
with the goddamn scissors. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Okay, damn.
We need to get him like a stress ball.
Lee, we discovered a couple episodes that Moose just has scissors and he's just waving them around in the episode.
Waving them around.
He's practicing for his Benihana.
Anyways,
Next episode live at
what happened at
Novachi.
TGS?
So TGS happened. I watched a lot of the Nier stuff, but I didn't watch it like as closely as probably you did.
I was working, so I was just following the news.
Okay, so what did you get out of this, other than it's coming out in April of next year?
It looks fantastic.
It does.
In terms of the remastering. Technically, we never got Replicant in the West because we got Gestalt. So F in the chat for old Daddy Nier. We've got the young one from Replicant, and the thing that struck me the most about the visual presentation of the game isn't necessarily just how they tweak certain like shapes and models and stuff. It's the game now has like an actual full color palette, whereas before it was just like variations of brown, gray, and maybe a little green.
It was definitely a last gen game where they picked a base color and then just shaded it.
Yep. So there's actual color palette in the game. The little snippets of combat that they showed looks promising, because the biggest difference in terms of its reception between Replicant and Gestalt versus Automata was the gameplay, and obviously Automata's gameplay was handled from the ground up by Platinum, which is a very different experience. But yeah, so release date, that collector's edition looks sexy.
Edition.
Edition.
An addiction, all right.
It is.
They showed off a big ass statue for Automata as well.
Yeah, the one with like all of them.
Yeah, it's got 2B.
It looks really fucking cool, man.
9S2 on there.
Do you feel like players of Nier Automata need to be like told like it might not be like Nier Automata?
I don't know. It looks like they've improved the gameplay. It's not going to be the same as Nier Automata. The one thing I did notice was a lot of people kept calling it a prequel, and I don't want people to get confused because they're like, "Is it a prequel to Gestalt?" And I'm like, "No. And it's not technically a prequel to Nier Automata either. Automata is the sequel. Like usually prequel means it came out after something else that it now or chronologically.
Right.
So there is a little confusion in the nomenclature with this coming to the West for the first time.
Well, and then Yoko Taro, he's like, yeah, don't even think about it. Think about it as a new thing.
Yep. Also, Yoko Taro was talking about the mobile game a lot too. They had that too. The Nier Reincarnation that actually looks like a mobile game that's not ass.
I mean,
that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Is that out already or?
I don't think so. Also, I remembered when they showed the teaser trailer, the official teaser trailer, for Replicant that they showed, so not the gameplay stuff. They for the music, they did an a cappella version of Kaine's theme in the round. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I was salivating. That was so good. That's my favorite song from the entire soundtrack too.
Ooh,
really?
Doctor.
That's a good fucking soundtrack, and that's a good fucking song in it.
You know what else was announced at TGS? A demo in mid-October for Melodies of Memory.
That was at TGS.
I'll be honest with you, Michaela. I'm kind of mad at Jason now.
I'm not.
My problem with Melody of Memory is they're going to put so much story in it, especially for Kyrie, and I've waited since I was 5 for her to have like character development. Oh my god. I am not playing a fucking rhythm game.
Shiren the Wanderer is coming to Switch. This was a Vita game. It's finally come. They're from like 2012 or so. It's an RPG. It's a RPG. It's pretty cool, but it's pretty far removed. It was early Vita.
Yeah,
it's just coming to Switch now.
Well, probably because they're like, we could probably get a better fan base here, you know.
They showed more Resident Evil. They showed some gameplay
for a Village.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They were saying it looks like it plays like 4. So it's a bit more open, I guess. There was Jump Force DLC.
Gameplay for Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impa's a character in the game. A playable character.
Okay, so apparently Nier Reincarnation is now available to pre-register for iOS and Android in Japan.
Yeah, it's not going to come west until after. Like, that's one where...
So get that VPN ready.
I mean, if you got one.
You should have one to begin with, but...
Yeah, so you can do your dark internet business without anybody looking.
I gotta buy that kidney or liver. I'll probably need a liver first, really. Honestly.
Yeah. Anything else out of TGS?
A bunch of already announced stuff got like gameplay. Like I think they showed some Monhun gameplay. They showed some that Scarlet Nexus game from the Xbox showcase in July.
Yeah. More of the Final Fantasy, the collection of Saga. More gameplay of that. I feel like the Monster Hunter game on Switch might be cool. I think I want to see how it runs first, though.
It looks interesting.
Yeah. I interrupted you, Jason. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just say, Age of Calamity has a Breath of the Wild bonus. If you have a save game, you get bonus items in the game.
Cool.
So that's Dynasty Warriors 9 got announced.
Please stop. Just make it stop.
There ain't nothing wrong. Listen.
Well, I think
the last one was so bad.
Yeah, I think that's still in the taste of people's mouths with that
I think
series.
they need to. I think they need to rest. I think they need to go back to the drawing board, rest that series for a little bit, figure out how they're going to modernize, differentiate, keep people coming back in a way that's not a broken, empty game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I can get behind that.
I mean, I've never played one of those games.
Really?
I've never played a Dynasty Warriors game at all.
Neither have I.
Wow.
I almost, several times I almost got into Hyrule Warriors, but just didn't.
I almost bought it as well. But this one...
Age of Calamity looks cool, though. I'm not going to lie.
Like, they're saying it's way larger than Breath of the Wild. So
Musou games can be fun. I'm not a huge I really obviously would,
I don't know.
I would like Persona Strikers or whatever, Scramble, whatever the fuck it's called, to get a Western release date because it's been out in Japan for almost a year.
Oof.
Yeah.
Atlas loves to move slow with that shit.
I just feel like Age of Calamity. I would want to see reviews before I buy it. Mm-hmm. I won't pre-order it, but like if it's getting some really good reviews, I'll go pick it up.
I'll tell you what my roommate thinks because it's her birthday present. And the reason, like, the selling point for it is not necessarily that it's a Musou game, because I don't think she played Hyrule. No, actually, she might be playing Hyrule Warriors this summer, actually. It's the story tie-in that it actually is.
Right, it's the prequel to Breath of the Wild, so you're like, well, that's why I would want to play it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and it kind of looks fun and entertaining, and it looks like it's not just wacky Dynasty Warriors, if that makes sense. It looks like it's got Dynasty some Warriors good gameplay and some but it just looks to me like it's a little bit more put together. That makes sense. So
yep.
See, the thing that's
no, go ahead.
The thing that's always attracted me to Dynasty Warriors is that, from this dumb point of view that I'm about to put out, it looked like a Diablo game to me, but it's not like dungeon crawl, because like you get into some of those mobs in Diablo, it looks like a Musou game, because you will have tons of things around you, but in Diablo they tend to be a little bit more difficult. And then because Diablo 3 came out, I never went there. I think if Diablo 3 never happened, I probably would have at least played 1 by now.
Yeah, I grew up on like the PS2 era Dynasty Warriors. Like, I think my favorite one is 3, but they really, it's stale at this point, that particular formula. And I think where they succeed is when they do these crossovers, or even just other games do Musou that's not Dynasty Warriors. What was it? 8 tried to go open world. Was that the first one to try and do that? And it was just a bunch of open space because it just doesn't work. And obviously the story never really goes anywhere because it's all based on the same book over and over and over again. So you've got the same characters over and over again. It's nothing that really iterates.
Right. I think, well, now I don't know if this is the same thing because I didn't play Monster Hunter before World, but I feel like everything I've said or everything I've heard about the updates to that game to make it, I'll say more accessible rather than fully accessible, like for people who had never played to sort of come in and try and get their feet wet. I feel like Dynasty Warriors might need that. Do you think that's fair? And I'm only asking because you know the franchise better than I do.
I mean, I'm not a super expert in it. I think what it needs is just like something new. Like mechanically, it's a pretty accessible. Like it's a Musou game. You go up to a giant crowd of people and toss them around in the air while somebody yells ridiculous lines over and over again that, you know, you'll be hearing in your sleep. It's Lu Boo over and over again until you die. I think
I mean, Lubu's pretty cool. Let's be real. Lubu, he's all right.
Yep. I mean, in the PS2 era, I had those like cheat codes where you press all the buttons on your controller and you can unlock all the characters. And you could get Lubu that way very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they need to divorce themselves from the source material even a little bit, because I forget what the name of that book is. It's not War of the Roses or whatever it is.
It's like Romance of the Three Kingdoms, isn't it?
Romance of the Three Kingdoms might be it.
Because there have been tons of just strategy games based on that.
Yeah. I think they just need new material more than anything else.
Right.
They need to move on.
Maybe like instead of, well, they call it Dynasty Wars, but then like colon something else.
Yeah.
Just do that. Dynasty Warriors 10 colon something else.
Something else. Bring back the War Elephants.
I'd play that. Day one. If they named it something else, day one.
Jason?
I was going to go. Resident Evil Village may come to current gen. They're looking into it. Because right now it's designed for next gen and PC. So that's pretty cool.
Do we have a release window for that?
2021.
All right, yeah, nothing more narrow than that. Yeah.
Like I would say early.
Yeah, I think
when did 7 come out?
2017, early, right?
But then all of the remakes and stuff have come out early in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those weren't like really the team that works on the main titles. So 3 years is or 4. 2021 would be.
See,
Capcom, they're not going to compete with themselves. That their Manhunt is coming in March, so maybe not on top of that.
Maybe summer.
Oh yeah, okay.
Summer could be it.
I was gonna say because Capcom has been doing a good job owning the beginning of the year.
Maybe January then. Who knows?
I think. Well, I also think like there's a lot of people out there that like to stream during the Halloween season. Well, any season really to be that to speak to that, but I feel like if they put it out in the summer, it gives their fans enough time to like mess with the game, to really get comfortable with it, to like do a cool stream come Halloween. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be mid-year in 2021.
That makes sense.
That's my prediction.
They have been releasing in January though, like very consistently. Like Resident Evil 2 remake, wasn't that January? Manhunt World was January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like to own the beginning of the year.
The Virgil DLC that was shown at the PS5 is coming to the PS4 version now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anybody want mine?
No. I got my own, thanks.
They did announce the Resident Evil Netflix show. It's going to be CGI.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew this was coming eventually. I feel like we kind of, it's not really a surprise.
Listen, Capcom, if fucking Castlevania on Netflix is better than your show, just fucking stop. Okay?
Castlevania's damn good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the series.
And Dragon's Dogma,
I'm not like shit on
a series?
Yeah, and people are saying it's bad.
I didn't watch it.
I want to play that game still, and I think it'll probably be one of the last games I play on my PS4. But I don't want to watch that until I've at least engaged with the game a little bit. But the people I have listened to that have engaged with that game a lot and engaged with this, they're like, yo, this is bad. This is real bad. So I think a lot of people were thinking there might be a Dragon's Dogma announcement on the tail of that show. But they're also saying, yeah, it's pretty good that there's not, because this show sucks. So I don't know. Anything else on TGS?
Ni no Kuni's getting a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
That's about right. Is it a Ni no Kuni Go?
I don't know. I know it exists. I don't know anything about it.
Did we just lose Moose?
What? How can we close the show?
We'll find a way.
We can't. We have to keep going.
Anything else?
We'll make our guests do it.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm so out of practice with
Was there
closing
anything
out
else
shows. Don't even ask
besides
me.
TGS?
No,
It's pretty easy here. It's just one word.
Yeah, you just have to do Moose's ending. No, I don't think there was much else from T. It was weird. Like TGS kind of came and went without.
There wasn't
There
a lot
he
of
is.
fanfare leading up to it.
Yeah, usually TGS, there's like something big, like a big announcement. Like Nier for me was exciting, but we already knew, we knew that was coming. We knew it existed.
To be fair, it followed the two big next gen formal announcements. So it was like, what do we do now?
Followed by like that Microsoft Bethesda bomb that came out of nowhere.
Honestly, this month has been bigger than last month for news, even though last month was like Gamescom and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Was Gamescom last month?
At the very end of last month, yeah. Jeff Keighley's 2
It
hours.
happens at some point.
I feel like I always associate Gamescom with October. I don't know why.
I think that's Paris Games Week, isn't it?
Is that Paris Games Week?
Paris Games Week is more towards November, like late October, early November.
Yeah. So maybe that's why you. I mean, that could be why you associate it with October.
It's Europe.
Yeah, I know. Gamescom is in the summer. I mean, to be honest with you, apart from E3, I don't know when anything else is, even though it all happens about the same time every goddamn year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I know we're still in the first year of this podcast, but just spoiler alert for future years, if we make it that far, I'm going to be confused every time Michaela says, "Oh, by the way, this is happening this week," and I'll be like, "What? Already?" And then, if June comes and E3 is happening again, which who knows at this point, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's about E3 time." That makes sense.
I think the only two I remember, PAX East is usually
April.
April. E3 is June, and then after that, it's kind of
It's like one after another after E3 of just different events that pop up. Who knows how they're gonna? I mean, with E3 practically dying this year, let's be honest here.
I don't even know when PAX West is. It usually happens. And
usually it's in like September. I think PAX West is usually September.
Yeah, end of August, September usually.
Yeah, because
I think East is the bigger one.
One of my wife's friends actually, she has gone to PAX West more than she has done PAX East.
East is fun. I went the 2 years ago.
Yeah.
East was kind of sad this year thanks to COVID. It happened. It was there. There was a huge Animal Crossing booth, and that was about it.
My wife did PAX East, I want to say 6-7 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I want to do PAX East at some point. It'd be cool
East
to do PAX East.
It's just so when you get to meet those like indie developers and see how like down to earth they want to chat with you. It's just so cool. Like when you get to go up to the booth, they're like so excited. They're more excited to talk to you than you are to see their game.
Yep.
Yeah. That would be a hard thing for me to wrap my head around and be like, you want to talk to? No, you don't want to talk to me. Come on, man. There are better people here in this crowd.
And you think at first it's like, oh, they're just being nice, but they'll take the time. Like if you play the game, some of them will sit with you. It's like, oh no, try this. Like, what do you think of this? Like me and Jeff got so much free shit. They're like, you guys want free stuff? Like, yes. Sure.
Okay, so we're pretty wrapped on TGS then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else?
Well,
outside of that?
Lee and I have something to talk about. Don't we, Lee?
Yeah, you do it.
So I have approached this guy about building a PC, and I am going to do it. We've actually recorded a couple of episodes of what is going to be called Shock Boy and Upsetter Build a PC. And the reason it's called the reason it's called that, when we started it, it's only going to be like a limited thing, and it's probably something
at maybe 5 episodes of it,
something like that. Yeah, because we've done 2. we've done 2 where I was talking about like why I want to build a PC, and he's like, okay, here's what you look at, here's what you need to consider. And then our second episode was actually us going shopping for the parts. I have been saving most of the year for this, and I now have enough to actually order the stuff. This is going to culminate in me going to Lee's house, practicing all the precautions because COVID. We're not going to do this willy-nilly. And Lee and I are going to build
I figured me and you would suck face.
I mean, that's just what we'll just do it with masks on.
With masks on.
Yeah. But we are going to build this on a stream. I think, is that our goal, Lee, or?
Yeah.
Or just to record. Okay, because if you want to do it live, I'll do it live. I'll be stupid live.
I've got the equipment to do it live. We can do it live.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna do that live, and by the end of the year, I will have a PC that I can stream from and play games on.
Crusader Kings.
I've already bought 3 games for it that I can't play right now. Well, I'm playing 2 of them other places, but I picked up Hades.
I call dibs on recruit a friend if he decides to play WoW. Lee, beat you to it.
Well, I mean, you guys are both going to be disappointed because the MMO I want to play is actually Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh.
Watch it, their melody of memory.
Which, Michaela, do you play Final Fantasy 14 or no?
No, I've watched a lot of it. I have friends who play it. I have friends who badger me to play it. MMOs intimidate me. I haven't played them since I had dial-up, and it was RuneScape, and it was very old RuneScape.
RuneScape's coming back next year.
Again? It just needs to die. It already died.
RuneScape, or are you talking about Rune Factory?
No, RuneScape.
Okay. I dated a girl who was still playing RuneScape, and she thought it would impress me. I'm like, I don't want to.
That's not impressive.
I don't want. Well, okay. Before I met my wife, and I was dating people, and I would say like, I do play games, and they would. A couple of them, actually probably 3 of them, tried to lie about playing games to impress me. I think,
Ooh.
and I'm like, it's like.
Just admit what you don't know.
Well, and then when I would, eventually when I sort of figured out what was going on, I'm like, you don't have to be a gamer. You don't have to play games with me or otherwise in order for this to work. Like I like games. I hosted a podcast about them at the time, still do. But that's not everything about me. Like,
all of you.
Like I have way more other stupid things we can get interested in, but yeah, this one who was like, she just angled at me so hard to play RuneScape, and I'm like, no, I do not want to play an MMO. And then I've heard enough about Final Fantasy 14 and watched enough Final Fantasy 14. I'm like, man, that looks cool.
The original Final Fantasy 14 was so bad they had to basically redo it.
Yeah,
and now it's arguably the most successful currently Japanese MMO on the market. Mm-hmm. And every expansion they've done has just built on that. And that's the team that's working on, or part of the team behind 14 is what's working on 16. 14, I believe, takes place in Ivalice, so you've got some really great characters that have been established in some of my favorite. So like you guys know I love 10, I love 7, but I actually also love 12 a lot, which is where you get a lot of the Ivalice stuff. It's where you get characters or races like the Viera, which are in 14. Very cool stuff. I'm just intimidated by the commitment required by an MMO, the community behind an MMO. If I did watch Dad of Light on Netflix. Does anybody know what that is? Does anybody know?
I know what it is. I've not watched it.
Of it. No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
either.
it is a Netflix TV show that was just one season, like a mini series about this kid. Not kid. He's probably like my age almost. He has trouble connecting with his father, so he gets him to play FF14 with him, but his dad doesn't know the other character is his son, and so they connect that way. And it's very cute and sad and sappy and adorable. So, but yes, 14, I like it.
Sounds like something out of our last Game Club episode. It sounds like a crosscode situation almost in a weird way.
There's a meta there.
Interesting. I'll actually watch that now. Is it bad or?
No, it's heartwarming. I teared up a little bit. It's great. It's great for gamers.
It got dusty in the room real quick.
There was some
allergies, I swear, guys.
Onions in the background.
Who turned the heat on or the air conditioning? It's going right into my eyes.
I'll tell you what, Matt. We can game share when you're all set up, and you'll have access to 1,000 games.
Yeah. Oh, so Moose, you were gone while I said this. Leah and I, over the past couple of weeks, have been recording episodes of what is going to be called, and brace yourself for this stupid title, Shockboy and Upsetter Build a PC. So I'm building a PC.
Oh, no, I know you're... Okay. Cool.
It's going to culminate in our fifth episode being me going to his home, and we're going to put it together live on stream.
Oh, I like it.
So yeah, we will be practicing all the precautions because, but as of right now, I've purchased everything except a processor and a graphics card. Per Lee's recommendation, I'm waiting till mid-October and late October for.
October 8th is the AMD release date for it's supposedly now the Ryzen 5000 series.
Mm-hmm.
They skipped they skipped the 4000 because of their laptop processors being called the 4000 series.
Okay.
So they went ahead and skipped to the 5000. It looks like, based on all the leaks, and also their video card that is potentially releasing later in October. Well, the announcement is supposed to be later in October. I'm going to anticipate probably 2 weeks after announcement that they will have them available for purchase, and it looks like one of their executives has said that they will have ample stock, unlike what happened with NVIDIA's releases from a couple of weeks ago. So,
well, and their little guy hasn't released yet, right?
No, and NVIDIA actually has. It's been confirmed that they do have a 3060 Ti on the way. So for it to be a TI level card, that's actually going to be console killer level, probably.
Okay.
Based on what it should give you statistically. Whether it does it or not, I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. But it's a lot of exciting stuff in the PC space as far as hardware that's coming out over the next month, because AMD has shown that they can come back from being down and out when it came to their CPU line. So if they can do the same for graphic cards, and if they can give out a graphic card, if they can give the level of improvement that they did with CPUs for GPUs, then you could potentially see them taking advantage of possibly NVIDIA's low stock levels at the moment. Everybody wants that 3080. Everybody's looking for it, but it's hardly available. And I've heard a couple people already having had their orders be canceled because
rescinded.
Yeah, they were rescinded and canceled, and it's unfortunate, but that's the nature of 2020, I guess, when it comes to pre-ordering all of this high level tech. So
see that to me is trash on their part. Because if someone's able to complete a sale for your product, but you're not able to fulfill that, you need to still honor the sale, but you need to give them something to say, listen, it's going to be delayed because we're a shit show when it comes to fucking pre-ordering, just like the PS5 and the Xbox.
I wholly agree.
But it's like, okay, listen, you are now on a list where we don't know where you are in line, but we're going to have to figure it out. You know, there's got to be a process there.
And
when they receive the order, whatever, and get everybody on a list and say, you know, this is when we can anticipate you getting your card. We apologize for the wait. We're gonna and throw something in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's just trash just to cancel it on somebody who's trying to buy your product and just be like, well, you went about the route that you were supposed to, which was to order our product, but fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, I would give them easily 2 middle fingers and be like, I'm never buying your shit product again.
Yeah.
There's an easy fix. Like, they could say, like, hey, here's a couple of months free of GeForce Now or something like that.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's exactly it.
Something to just be like, here you go while you wait. You know what I mean?
I mean, at least
3 months of GeForce Now, or even if you go through, like, say, a third-party retailer like Amazon or Newegg, you know, they could have authorized them to subsidize some type of, like, you know, here's a Steam gift card for, you know, $20, $25, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even like, here's $20 off your next Amazon order.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something.
You know?
I mean,
but
a lot of it was just such a shit show of a release, and
all three of them were.
In my opinion, I think a lot of it had to do with COVID-19, because I don't believe NVIDIA, had it not been for COVID, I believe NVIDIA would have made this announcement back in May. And I believe that September was their target release date, no matter what. But because of COVID-19, I believe that their development for some of the software that was necessary, the driver development, a lot of it ended up getting screwed up and ended up, you know, having to take all this time. And they finally said, all right, well, we got to release it one way or another. And that's what they did, is they released information, and then 2 weeks later they were selling it. But
pulled it out of a stove.
Literally pulled it out of a stove. I mean, they weren't ready for it, but you know, it is what it is. The thing is, Ampere as an architecture was already discussed by NVIDIA back in, I want to say, April or May or something. So to me, they already had everything ready. But I'm assuming, based on their testing, that, you know, they still had to refine the process. They still had to refine the drivers, and it took some time that they just didn't have because of COVID-19. So just so much of it.
And now, because I know that on this show we've specifically said, like, maybe the console releases could have been delayed. I know, and Michaela has had the smart response where they want to get that holiday money. They do. And delaying the consoles, you know, to early next year doesn't necessarily mean the world is better by then.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like, Sony and Microsoft delay this a year. I think that NVIDIA and AMD probably delay their stuff a year.
Oh, absolutely.
Even
the
biggest,
biggest reason.
Hang on. Just not to.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to finish my thought. Not that, like, I feel like there's an argument to be made that the consoles don't need to worry about the PC reveals, but the PC reveals do need to worry about the console reveals, especially at a generational change, because that's the point where, like, okay, who can we pull? How many Matthew Keels can we pull from a generation reveal and get them to invest in the build of a PC versus a new console?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately I've wanted to build a PC for, I think, damn near 5 years now. And it's just like, at this point, like, I was, when my wife and I had this discussion, I was at a point where I could say, okay, I'm going to save for this and we're going to do it. We have enough money saved for our adoption, or at least to be in the race for children. So now I can do this and not like impact us financially. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. I mean, I think if either of us were affected work-wise, it would definitely be a different discussion.
Change it. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that I think you're right. I think you're right that I think that all this has to do with the pandemic. But your thought?
Well, the thing is that a lot of, I guess, prognosticators and the type of people who are more invested into this industry than myself or you or whoever is that
more invested than you. What?
Well,
says the man from his ivory tower. You plebes, plebes.
You can have your PS5.
Peasants. The thing is, from what I've been reading, is that it wasn't necessarily AMD that made NVIDIA decide we got to do this right here, right now.
No.
It actually was the consoles.
Yeah.
As you said, it's to pry away those who want performance or those who want the ability to do much more and play much more. It's to bring that group into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of the focus with AMD's reveal, or I'm sorry, with NVIDIA's reveal that day was a lot of the talking points when it came to consoles, all of those buzzwords that we hear about.
8K 120 teraflops.
Yeah. Well, listen, that was that one card that, I'm sorry, that's just a,
as we said on one of our as we said on one of our episodes, it's a dick measuring thing. That's really all it is.
It was big dick spirit time by NVIDIA, and here it is, because nobody in the world has ever developed 8K, something that can produce 8K textures at 60 frames per second.
So they did it at 120.
Yeah, so they did it at 120. So I said to I was saying to Becky actually that because I pulled up a video that had the YouTuber MKBHD, and he was playing on an 88-inch LG 8K monstrosity for like $30,000. It's like $30,000 to buy this TV. God. So he got a 3090 and he started playing and everything, and you could literally see the textural difference that was because his video was actually rendered at 8K for YouTube. God, and you could see the difference. And I'm going, so you're looking at 33 million pixels being rendered 60 times in a single second. Nobody can do that. Yeah. Nobody has the tech that can do that.
Who
nobody
needs
will
it,
have
though?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Nobody needs it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. Like that goes back to that notion of, do we need what we have now? Do we actually need it? No. Like I got into an argument with somebody on our Facebook page because he was saying like that 4K was a gimmick and high refresh rate was a gimmick. I'm going, if you think about it, everything that we have in, when it comes to gaming, it's a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do in life is to eat, piss, shit, and sleep. You don't need to do any of this other stuff.
I mean, I would add one more thing into that, but
yeah, well, listen, you can do that by yourself.
Well, no, specifically with another person, but
well, I'm saying in general, you don't need another person. You can do that on your own. But in reality, none of this is needed.
We're talking about listening to vinyl, right?
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like what NVIDIA did, I think it's a reaction to the consoles because they wanted to get ahead of it. They wanted to say, look, they can say all the buzzwords about 4K and 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second and HDR and ray tracing and everything. But here's what we have for this much. Mm-hmm. It could be much better for you.
Yeah.
Now that's the reaction.
Now, before we get out of here, I want to get a couple of things straight. Don't get me wrong here. When I build this PC, it is not going to look anything like what the video viewers might see on Lee's screen. I am not investing in the high-end NVIDIA card. I am not investing in the high-end AMD whatever they're doing. I am not investing in the newest, latest. I am.
For the record, I will submit that I am one of the suckers who bought a 2080 Ti for $1,200. So
yeah, no, you came clean on that too. I am definitely like, I mean, even with this AMD processor reveal, I'm still probably going to be at a Ryzen 7.
Yep.
I'm still probably going to be. I mean, at the absolute most, I'm going to do. I will try and get a 3070, or the AMD.
Or the AMD variant of it.
The AMD variant, or I might just go last gen, just because that might be all I need, depending on what we've talked about. But Lee and I are waiting to have that discussion when those things occur.
Yep.
But my ultimate goal is I would like to help Jason with editing. I would like to have a better streaming setup other than my PS4, and I would like a computer that I can log into my goddamn Twitch page on, because I can't right now. My Mac just does not do it.
I feel like it's a user error.
No, it's really not.
I
I mean, you know what? After this, I'll show you what happens when I try and log into Twitch. Because I type in my password, I type in my username, and then it just says, you need to log in. And I'm like, that's my username and password. If I reset it.
I gotta admit, I've experienced that as well before when it came to my personal page.
I know I'm on a 10-year-old Mac, but like still.
Yeah. Well, it
but I can
matter what you're using.
I can do it at work though, which is even weirder.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't want to try and go do Twitch stuff at work because they can see everything. So yeah, but I would like to be in a better position to help out here, because I know Jason's doing all that lifting, and I know with 2 kids and a job that can be a little bit taxing. So I wanna be able to help. That's where I'm at. So yeah, that's more what I'm not gonna be high-end PC gaming rig, not dick measuring with 8K 120, because who the fuck needs it? I would like to play Crusader Kings 3. I feel like that's the only real game I'm doing this for. And then I might play Final Fantasy 14 at some point on it. So
there you go.
Final Fantasy 14 is a fantastic game.
Yes, we said that while you were gone.
I know. Listen.
He's just reiterating.
Yeah. I know.
Fucking whatever. I'm done. I'm signing out. Y'all have a good day.
Well, actually, you know what? You're right on time, Moose. We were kind of making sure you were back. At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXOD merch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.